Late night riding. About to go in Applebee's. Check this out. Here we go. Oh yeah. Got some bear too. You're fucked up.
No, come here. You. Let's go to the car with them.
Huh? What happened?
I'm about to go in the car with them.
I am. Yeah, please.
Let me get the keys because I need to charge my phone too. It's good. You're good. There you go. Oh, here, I'm gonna leave this with you.
So I went to Second and Charles yesterday and got me some bags. Reasonable regular comic book bags, 100. They cost me about $7. I don't know what reasonable means. They don't sell Mylars because I would like to start slowly getting Mylars, but I got a, like I said, regular bag. And then I asked them, do they have any boards, because they haven't put any boards out lately, and they weighed 100 boards for me. And 100 boards actually end up coming out to, they said, about 3 pounds. So they sold that to me for $7 too, so very cool. So now I'm just going to spend the rest of my weekend working on my collection, getting them bag and boarded. Well, I'm downstairs watching the coolest movie of all, Total Recall. All right, there you have it. At my daughter's school, she took my deodorant, so I had to come and check where my deodorant was at. I remember these days in middle school, but I was in Miami, Florida.
Michael!
Now I'm headed out my other daughter's school. This job as a father just don't stop. Come on, y'all. Let's go. All right, comic book peeps. Peace. Favorite Chinese restaurant? All right, let's go. And this episode of Direct Edition is brought to you by my fake Darth Maul from China. Alrighty, you know how we do on this channel. Let's get into some comics. Alright, so right off the bat, I got some, cool comics in the background. I got Daredevil number 227 and number 240 and number 216. And that came from a good friend of mine, Gory J, who used to do comic book videos. But now he does like top 10 countdowns of like metal. I really enjoy his channel. I'm waiting for him to get back into comics, you know what I'm saying? And then I got Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. That was called The Fall of Kingpin, but they call it like The Last Rites or whatever. And then you have Batman number 50, which is for some reason a key issue. I have doubles of that. And then you have one of my rare flea market finds. That is Batman number 465. It's like an early Robin appearance, but I thought it was, a key issue. But I went on ahead and bought it anyway. Got burnt, but it's fine. I'm glad to have it in my collection. So you guys, my last video, or one of my last videos, was the main event. And I really enjoyed doing that video because I pulled some comics, out of the dungeon and just kind of went over them. But with that being said, let's get into some comics. All right, now the receipt is not that long, but as you can see, I bought bag and boards with this. I don't think it's on there. Yeah, it's on there. It's towards the end of the receipt. The camera really won't focus. There it is. The 5 and the 5 at the end, that's the bag and boards. And believe it or not, I didn't even get through half of the collection before I ran out of bag and boards. Well, actually boards, you know what I'm saying? Because I definitely buy a lot of 50-cent comics, and most of those don't come without boards. But without further ado, let's do what we do. Let's get into some comics. So right off the bat, I'm going to hit you with a comic book that should be a main event. This is, if you allow my sexy fingers to interrupt your video, this is Wonder Woman 112. A beautiful, beautiful Doomsday cover, man. And when I saw this cover, I didn't care if I went over budget. I just had to have it in my collection. I think it's very cool. He's like destroying her tiara. And you already know how Doomsday is. So very cool. So that's Wonder Woman 112. I just bought this out of the dungeon just to show you. I definitely love any cover with Doomsday on the front, especially the death of Superman, man. Doomsday is a beast. So very cool, man. And just look at this cover, man. Even though I just didn't pick it up, I had it for a while. Doomsday is fading. How many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people at the same time. And like I always say when I show you this cover, that is actually Martian the Manhunter, if you allow my sexy fingers to interrupt your video. So you got, I think his name was Bloodstone, Fire, Booster Gold, Guy Gardner, and Blue Beetle getting their butts handed to them. Just look at that combat pose. Wow. Doomsday is an absolute beast, man. And there you have it. And one of the runs I'm trying to plug in the holes and plug in the gaps on is definitely Marvel Comics Presents the Weapon X story. This is number 77. A very beautiful Canadian wilderness cover. And yes, I would definitely like to have all these Weapon X Marvel Comics Presents titles. But they're, I'm not going to say necessarily very rare, but for any Wolverine collector, these are very hard to find. So definitely want to pick all these up so I can plug in the holes and plug in the gaps. And I made my move on number 77. And for me to have a complete run of Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Wolverine, I picked up this Wolverine number 141, which I've really never seen in a while before. This is Fear of the Reavers, and I'm sure it's not such a rare copy. It's just that, like I said, with any Wolverine fan, it's kind of hard to find his books out in the wild because, we are avid Wolverine fans, just as the same as, I'm not going to say Batman because Wolverine is fairly newer compared to Batman, but it's still hard to find his books, single runs out in the wild, especially when you get down to 1 through 10. So very cool, 131. Definitely love to have it. Plugging in the holes and plugging in the gaps. And so we have our run filler. This is Magneto War. This is Uncanny X-Men number 367. Very cool cover with Magneto and Joseph. I'm not sure who the lady is on the front cover because I haven't cracked it open. And not only did I pick up this book, but I also picked up Eve of Destruction, the Prelude, which is the beginning, with a very cool Magneto cover. Magneto being one of my top 10 favorite villains. Eve of Destruction Part 2. Very beautiful Ian Churchill cover. I actually could have bought Part 1. I wasn't paying attention and I end up having a total dumbass moment by not picking up Eve of Destruction number 1. But I definitely had to pick up this Ian Churchill cover. He's one of my favorite artists with Cyclops and Wolverine. And lastly, we rounded off with Eve of Destruction Part 4. So I guess this is a Magneto story about how he took over Genosha. And I'm definitely interested in that, man, because, Genosha ended up getting destroyed by Professor X's sister, Cassandra Nova. She sent a Sentinel into it, and the Sentinel killed most of the mutant population that was on Genosha. And then Selene resurrected everybody, and that epic book was called Necrosha. So very cool, man. Definitely want to see Magneto take over Genosha and see how it happened. So there you have it, Eve of Destruction. And speaking of Necrosha and people coming back from the dead, let's look at this X-Men number 89. Back from the dead, you have Warbird, you have Captain Marvel, and you also have Adam Warlock looking at Kitty Pryde. I wonder what happened in this X-Men book, and I can't wait to read it. Definitely glad to have it in my collection. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of the X-Men arc Necrosha. So very cool. All right, let's keep moving. And to throw you something like a main event earlier, if you was watching the video earlier when I was digging through the piles of comics, I ran across this beautiful Nova number 6 for 50 cents when I bought the other one for about $5. So not only do I have this copy, but I have this copy and this copy and this copy and this copy of Nova, all Eddie Gradoff covers. Excuse me, Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. Beautiful, beautiful Addy covers. I am a Nova fanatic when it comes to grabbing these because these covers are early Addy Gradoff runs. If I could go back in the day, I would kick myself in the butt because I picked up the first Annihilation Conquest, but I didn't pick up the Novas, and I didn't pick up the first modern Guardian of the Galaxy, which is now going up to 50 to $100. What a dumbass moment. Wah, wah, wah. Hey, but I'm making up for it. Look at those Addy covers. Addy Gradoff. So I got this beautiful New Avengers number 9 to plug in the holes and plug in the gaps in my New Avengers run. And that's a beautiful David Finch cover. That's the Sentry on the front cover. Definitely love that. And I definitely love the Sentry's old school Toy Biz Marvel Legend. They have the bearded version where he has a beard and short hair, and they also have the long hair version. I have the long hair version in my collection. So very cool. And so we're at the point of the video where you ask me, hey, Fred Hall Direct Edition, what are you reading right now? And this is what I'm reading right now. This is Uncanny X-Men number, this is an annual, 64 page annual from 1994. And once again, that's one of my favorite artists, Ian Churchill, on the front cover. You have a cool Caliban, Jubilee. That's when the X-Men had captured Sabretooth. So you see that he has a muzzle and something over his claws. And you have a beautiful Kitty Pryde. And like I said, Ian Churchill can do no wrong when it comes to drawing for me because he draws very cool. So here's a cool look at the front of the book. Old school Crusty Dusty from 1994. And here's a very cool look at the back of the cover. My boys are coming down here, so it's going to be a little bit of noise in my video, but look at that cool Chef Boyardee back cover. Hey, Michael and Fred. Got Sinister. If you collected those cans and you didn't open it yet, that's disgusting. But that's for a stream collector. But here's a cool look at the back of the cover. All right, comic book peeps. I have a lot of main events for you. We'll see what we got. It's okay, Holly. So we'll see how many we have. Let's go ahead and get it to your main events. So I love when DC and Marvel crosses over. They crossed over in the Amalgam universe. And this is actually DC Marvel Access. The guy you see on the front cover, his name is Access. and you see a cool Marvel DC crossover. This is probably from 1996. I don't even need to look at the cover to tell, because 1996 was around the time when Marvel and DC were about to go out of business. But DC was bought by Warner Brothers. If you allow my 60 fingers, yes, it's from December 1996. Uh, DC was saved by Warner Brothers, and then Marvel later on would be saved by Disney. And the reason why that happened was because of so many copies of comic books were made. You guys know about the comic book bubble around 1996. So there you have it. This is all access. This is one in a 4-part miniseries. So very cool cover. So that's cover number 1. And I was blessed to pick up cover number 2 with Robin and Jubilee. Oh my God. When I saw those two crossover, I was like, why didn't I ever think about that? Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm shooting a video.
Hey, Daddy.
Oh, video's interrupted for a second. Hold on. And boys will be boys. What can I say? I love them. But anyway, we have a Robin and Jubilee crossover. I thought that was so cool. And not only was I blessed to pick up 1 and 2, but it left me foaming at the mouth because I could not find 4, but I could find number 3. And look who's on the front cover of number 3. Wow, the detective meets the doctor. Wow. So this is very cool. I can't wait to find number 4. And let's go ahead and look at these 3 covers again. Oh, I'm so mad I couldn't find number 4, but you got 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful covers. All right, let's get into some more main events. So as you guys know, I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan. She's been in your main events more times than I could shake a stick at. This is a beautiful 1979 old school crusty dusty Wonder Woman. I actually had to kick out $5 for this. But me being the Wonder Woman fan that I am, I didn't mind paying $5. I just wanted to know what the significance of this book. I still haven't eBayed it. It's a very beautiful copy. No ticks, no nothing. Number 257. So like I said, I paid $5 for it. Definitely love it. I got some ruckus going on in the background. But hey, that's the life of a collector. Especially if you're a grandfather, which I'm not yet, but I am a father. So, okay, let's keep going. Beautiful Wonder Woman number 257 from 1979. And your last main event is the only Marvel lenticular that I actually jumped at when I first saw it. This is very beautifully done. This is Old Man Logan versus the Scarlet Samurai. And the reason why I picked it up, because it reminded me so much, I knew it was a cover swipe of Wolverine number 2. That is Wolverine versus the Silver Samurai. Look how they did. Look at it. Oh, oh my God. So beautiful, so well done. Man, this is one of the best main events I've had in a long time. I definitely love this cover swipe or lenticular of Wolverine versus the Silver Samurai, Old Man Logan versus the Scarlet Samurai. And that's your last main event. And so, once again, I'd like to thank you all for tuning into another episode of Direct Edition. The channel is Fred Hall Direct Edition. Remember, words of wisdom. Focus on the ones that show you love, and on the ones that don't show you love, hey, we're just going to keep on rolling without them. We're going to forget them. And I pray that you girls and guys be successful in everything you do. And I will catch you comic book peeps later. Be safe out there. Peace. Be sure to check out my latest 3 videos. One is Off the Grid. The other is Mr. Clean. And also we have Half Baked, where I actually link up with Comic Book Window and kind of do a little interview. You girls and guys be safe out there. Peace.